All right, our next author, we have a few more authors for you to meet. We need about 15, 20 more minutes, so hang in there. We have some great surprises for you, and I know you are going to love our next author, Christina Vazquez. Come on, I'm going to steal you for a couple minutes to talk about your book. So your book is The Uncherished Wife, Recover from the Emotionally Absent Man.
Yes.
Let's talk about that book. I know that is a journey many women find themselves on, just feeling uncherished by ourselves,
Absolutely.
uncherished by our partners. And so talk about your book. Who's it for? Why did you write it?
My book is for, as a therapist, I've been in the personal development counseling field for at least 15 years now. And I've always...
So you started when you were 20.
Thank you. Yes.
Just want to make sure everyone out there knew that.
So with that said, I have learned to become passionate about relationships. I think because...
Is that as a therapist? You see people like one-on-one?
Right. One-on-one and couples is my two. One-on-one for primarily women, and then couples.
And how much of the time are people talking about relationships in therapy? Is that like the number one topic?
Pretty much. They're coming in and complaining about something. Their marriage, their in-laws, their children, their boss. Something relational. I have wanted to hone it down to women right now, and that is where my book is trying to narrow my business down to really working with women and couples if their husband's willing to step into that process with them, which is kind of the emotionally absent man.
Yeah, did you pick that though? Because Dave from Cape Coral has a question. Dave, I'm going to take your question in a second. But did you pick that because that is a topic you heard over and over again?
Absolutely. One, it was my own journey. And through that journey, I thought there's something wrong with me. Why can't we connect? Why can't we connect? Constantly running to therapy myself. What's wrong with me? Why can't I connect? Never thinking maybe it was the other person. And then
I want to share this question with you from Dave. So Dave says, would a very narrow topic or target market hinder the potential exposure for my book? You obviously, with all the experience that you have in therapy, could have written about anything to do with personal growth. I always encourage people, Dave, to go to a very specific, not just demographic, but actually down to one person, a very specific problem. Was that hard for you to narrow down the topic? And you mentioned it was partly your personal journey that inspired you to help others.
Definitely my personal journey. But, you look for patterns. As a therapist, you're always looking for patterns. You see this pattern, what's going on? So God, the universe brought to me, sorry guys, because I'm going to say this to men. I kept seeing crying men on my couch going, she's leaving me. And I'd be, why is she leaving me? And the wife had been coming in. I can't get through to him. I can't get through to him. He doesn't understand me. We can't connect. He doesn't understand how he's never home or his anger is affecting the marriage. And so you bring them in together, and sometimes that woman was 1-2 feet out the door. And so it was, I did my best to use every tool in the toolbox to let's try and repair this marriage and give them everything. Some guys get it, they wake up. It's a light bulb moment when the wife finally says, step up or I'm out the door. And other times it was, this guy just couldn't get it. He just could not open his heart. And really my book, when you pick it up, I talk a lot about connecting with your heart. Your heart is going to lead you in your relationships. Your heart is going to tell you, is this in alignment for me? Is this relationship going to help take me to my best potential? Or is it taking me in the other direction?
Right. So I want to make sure we get through a bunch of reader questions. I'm going to give you a question from Wanaka from Georgia. Okay. And Wanaka says, how do you make sure the service that you plan to offer lines up with the content of your book? all of the books that we do end up having some other offer for readers who resonate with the work. So all of the authors you see here have services you can buy beyond the book. You can get a lot of lessons from the book. How did you create a service? You are obviously already a therapist.
Correct.
But how did you match up that work with the book?
By my own personal journey. As I was going through.
But have you created a front end?
What?
Have you created like a package that's specific?
Yes, specifics to navigating through one of two things.
Yes.
Let's see if we can take this. I use, if anybody's familiar with human psychology, I use a lot of human psychology, which is great. And men love it because it's science-based. Men are much more science-based. Women are obviously more intuitive and emotionally based. And I take them through a process to say, where are the weak areas that you are not connecting in human needs, not wants, human needs. And that's what's interesting is most people think that, it'd be nice if I was loved. No, it's a need. We thrive on love. We were born to have connection.
For sure. So Wanaka, I will just add to that as part of the process, actually in week 3 of the 9 weeks we work together, we actually, or week 2 even, we talk about crafting your outcome. So instead of just selling individual therapy sessions, putting these 2 packages that she talked about together, that actually happens as part of the book writing package. That way, when you finish this book, maybe Wanaka, you have a similar experience, you would know you could reach out to the author and there would be a specific program designed just for you. So I want to share with everyone your beautiful book cover. There it is. The Uncherished Wife, Recover from the Emotionally Absent Man. Please do read this book. It is a powerful and important story about what is inside you, about your own worth, and what to do about it from somebody who knows, who's been there and seen hundreds of clients through it. Yes. So Christina Vazquez, thank you so much, and congrats on your book.